program is sponsored by Marie Manuchehri.
Welcome to the Marie Manuchehri Show, where energy and medicine meet. I will be your host for the next hour. I have over 19 years of healthcare experience and began my career as an energy medicine practitioner while working as an oncology nurse at a Seattle area hospital. My skill in moving energy combined with my medical background have been a catalyst for change in many people's lives. I hope the next hour will be transformative for you as well. Good morning and welcome to the Marie Manuchehri Show. We are here in really kind of rainy, overcast, drizzly, oh my gosh, Seattle.
But it makes those Christmas lights twinkle just a little bit more.
This is true.
Yeah.
I always mention the weather at the top of the show just so that maybe everyone will look out the window or remember what their present reality is like regarding the weather so that they can get grounded so we can transform and become the incredible beings that we truly are.
Is the tree holding up? Charles hasn't knocked it over yet?
No, I have a gate. You know, Charles.
Oh, that's right. You put up the baby
He
gate.
has
Yeah, that's right.
he's probably a little over 60 pounds right now.
He's a big boy.
He's a big boy. And I put up these flimsy little gates. He never even tries to knock them down. He's such a good dog.
Trained him well.
I mean, I've never had a dog before, so we can't really say that, you know, but he's just a great breed and just a sweetheart. I picked well. Let's put it that way.
There you go.
I picked the perfect dog for me. Who does kind of pull on his leash a little bit too much, though, when I'm walking him. So I got to work on those muscles.
He's just ready to move. He's on the move.
Yeah, he's like smelling everything and, you know, peeing on everything. You know, what can I say? So one of the things I love to do here on the show is interview people who I believe are on the leading edge of thought. And today is one of those days where I get to interview Carl Anderson, who actually lives here in Seattle, who's actually in this studio, which never happens.
Woo!
I mean, always, yeah.
God, people that come in love us.
Right, we love that.
We can bring them in, too.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people we interview don't even live in the area. So, you know, there's a lot of organization about phones and phone numbers. And sometimes Benny and I sweat it out here in the studio because nobody's picking up their phone, which we've actually...
We can hold our own.
We can figure it out. But,
good.
you
We're
know,
pretty
so it's always a pleasure and a blessing to have someone come into the studio. So Carl Anderson, who... Originally, when he started his academic work, he went into mechanical engineering. And then at some point, which we're going to hear a lot about, because I like to get the backstory about people. I think people like the backstory. You eventually went ahead and studied in San Diego at the International, I don't know all the words about this school, actually, and became highly trained in body work, in all forms of body work. You even have an associate's degree in body work, which I'd never even heard of before, which is fascinating. And then what we want to talk about throughout the show, too, is Bach Flower Remedies, because you're an expert at figuring out the emotional cause of illness. So one of your favorite things is to help people heal holistically. You believe everything can be healed holistically. I agree 100% with that. So welcome to the show, Carl.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, it's lovely to have you. So, you know, you went to school to become an engineer, which is a very logical, very organized. And I've been to your home because I've had a remedy from you. And your house is very organized.
That's good.
It is very organized.
Just put you out on blast like that. We do it often. So.
Yeah, we do. So you know, to go from engineering to massage and Bach Flower Remedies, which I think was a little bit later on. I'm not really sure.
A little bit, tiny bit later.
A tiny bit
But
later.
actually,
so kind of all at the same time.
If we took a step backwards, there was one more step.
What?
I started out as a music major.
Oh my gosh.
I started out as a music
My eyes got all big.
performance
Did you see
major.
that? He looked right at my eyes got
gosh.
super big.
Okay.
Really?
So
Wow.
yeah, so I had I was one of those people who really had a hard time figuring out what I wanted to do because there were a lot of things I was pretty good at.
Wow.
And I really hated the idea of narrowing down, just specializing. I wish we could become an expert in things without having to specialize.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you know, the way our society is structured, we have to just do one thing, it seems, you know, and do it all the time. So I started out as a music major.
Wow.
Then I went to engineering,
What instrument?
clarinet.
Wow. Wow. So
Yeah.
really you've had a creative bent
Yes.
your whole life. And even when I think of engineering, that's very musical. You know, when you think of math and all of
Yeah.
that, it's a very musical aspect of the brain. Wow. So you went to school to study music.
Yep.
And then what turned you on to engineering?
Well, that was kind of a transition. A number of things, a number of factors came into play, and I finally decided that I wanted to do something else, and that I didn't particularly want to go on for at that point for a PhD or something, that
Wow.
required a bunch of graduate work.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided engineering is the physical application of science, really.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Whereas with biology or chemistry, you really need a master's or PhD, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of the reason why I went into engineering. But so
And
I did engineering, aerospace for basically 30 years.
Right. And you weren't living, where were you living then?
I started in New York at
Mm-hmm.
Grumman Aerospace, and then I came out here to Boeing for a while and worked on a couple different programs, Boeing military and Boeing commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Did the 777 in the early days. And then I went to Montreal, worked for Bell Helicopter.
How did you like Montreal?
I love
I know,
Montreal.
I love that
Still,
city.
Still an
It's
amazing city.
gorgeous.
It's a hidden gem in North
I
America.
agree. I mean, first of all, it's really safe. You can walk there like 1
Yes.
o'clock in the morning on the streets, and even the homeless people just are really nice to you.
And there aren't that many
No,
homeless
there
either.
aren't.
But
Yeah.
it's funny because you'll see women walking alone.
Yeah, I've walked
at,
alone there.
1, 2, 3 in the
Yeah.
morning,
Yeah.
and they have a very low violent crime rate, very
Yeah.
low murder rate. You don't hear about rapes and things like that
Right.
going on there. So people feel safe.
Yeah.
The parks are full. They don't close at dusk like they do here,
Right
right?
here. Yeah.
They're full. You'll see lovers sitting on benches, or lying in the grass at 2 in the morning in
Uh-huh.
the summer, and just talking, and there might be somebody playing
talking,
music.
quoting, unquote, talking, sure. Mhm.
You've got a dirty mind.
No, hey, just saying.
But
That's
it's really
so
funny
cute.
because people really live and they enjoy the city, and I'd like to think that that's what it used to be like here,
Right. It was.
but
It was. Yeah.
those days are gone, unfortunately.
So you worked in Montreal, and then when was it when you went, I don't think I want to be an engineer anymore, or I don't want to work in the engineering world?
I actually had thoughts about that probably when I was in Montreal around then.
Mhm.
But then I went to San Diego and I worked for a couple of companies, Science Applications Inc. And anyway, I had the opportunity to take bodywork courses down there, and there were like 5 schools in San Diego.
Wow.
One or two were very woo woo.
Mm-hmm.
One was very the opposite, very kind of rigid and kind of mechanical. And then IPSB was sort of in between. And everyone who I respected said, "Oh, IPSB is the place to go." So I went there. They were offering. I remember hearing all of a sudden that they were offering an intensive, 10 hours a day or whatever for like a month.
Wow.
An intensive form of their normal introduction class, and and my boss had just come in and said, since I was working with a bunch of Europeans,
Uh-huh.
that they were going to take the month of August off because their things were slow. Or they said, if you want to take time off.
So the
all
universe in
Europeans-
action.
Right, it actually happened. They're like, now's a great time if you want to take an extended vacation because
Right.
all the Europeans are going to be on a vacation. So I was like,
Wow.
why don't I do this? So I just went
Wow.
down and signed up, and that the opportunity just
And
really,
fell in love.
Yeah,
Fell in love
totally.
with holistic healing
Yeah.
and body work. And you have, certificates and all kinds of other avenues in structural integration, which is actually, you explained to me before we went live that it's not Rolfing because Rolfing is trademarked,
Right.
which I had no
It's
idea.
It's basically the same thing, just
Right.
not taught at the Rolf Institute.
Right.
And they have, there might be slightly different philosophies here and there,
Right.
but basically, Rolfing is structural integration.
Right.
But you can't say that structural integration is Rolfing because
Right.
it
Because
is,
they're
that's trademarked. Right.
Wow. Now I understand why people tell me when I say you're Rolfing, they go, no, you can't say that.
Sort of, not really.
Right. So you fell in love with body work
Yeah.
and working on people's bodies,
Yeah.
right? And then so you left engineering.
Yeah, but it wasn't for many years later.
Wow.
So I just left engineering about 2.5 years ago.
Oh,
3
you're
years ago.
kidding.
I was
didn't
working at Boeing.
realize that.
So
wow.
for about 18 years or so, I did both.
Wow.
So I was doing engineering by day, body work, and Bach by night
Wow.
and weekends.
Wow. So what got you into the Bach Flower Essence Remedies, which are phenomenal, by the way?
Thank you. Yeah.
Phenomenal. And it's just not every day. I personally, and I'm very picky about who I see professionally, of course, and who I refer clients to. But it's just not every day I run into someone who has the intuitive ability to help someone create the remedy or create the remedy for the individual, because they work, but you have to have the awareness to put it all together, and it's complicated.
It's simple on one level, but the devil's in the details. And when you dig down, it can be complicated because it can be difficult to know the distinction between one remedy and another remedy, because even a certain situation might appear to be one thing, but if you really look at it from all sides, it's actually sometimes something else.
Right.
So
wow.
So again, for instance, procrastination. There's one remedy that's sort of the standard remedy for procrastination, but there are a lot of different reasons. So you have to understand, why is somebody procrastinating?
Right.
So if they have lack of confidence,
sure,
and
that's a
they're
total
afraid
different
that they're
remedy.
Fail,
Right.
then that's larch. It's not hornbeam. And likewise, a lot of perfectionists just want to wait until they have everything just right, because they know they can do it perfectly.
Right.
But they may not, they might not be in the right mood right now. They might feel like they're just a little too tired or whatever.
Right.
They want to wait till the right moment before they attempt to do it.
Right.
And that's rock water. That's for rigidity. So again, oftentimes things aren't what they appear on the surface.
Well, you know how I heard about you is one of my clients who I didn't realize she lives in New York, and I was working on her for her body.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that she was a shut-in. And these are her words,
Yes.
the way she describes herself. And we were having a conversation on Skype or Zoom or whatever it was. And she told me, she goes, I've been a shut-in for over a decade, 14 years. And I go, really? I had no idea. And she goes, yeah. And someone in your area, I heard about him. He made a remedy for me over the phone. He talked to me, sent me the remedy. And now I've been on 2 cruises. So she was the person who turned me on to you.
I know who you mean. She's now been on at least 4 cruises.
Right?
And at least 2 trips to, one was to New Hampshire to see the colors of the trees.
Oh.
And I think, did she go to, I think this year she went someplace else, but last year she went to New Hampshire.
It's amazing.
And, she's been traveling, and it's amazing.
It's amazing. She got out of her house. She's having fun. She's experienced her life, and it's because of your remedies.
Yeah.
Well,
She's
it's because
wonderful.
She is lovely. She's hysterical too. Yeah, she's really funny. And because you've lived in New York, you can get the whole New York personality, right?
Yeah, totally.
And so here she is, this really lovely lady, but not only, of course, the remedies, but because you accurately read her.
Yeah.
So the intuitive process, which I'm sure your intuition has been growing, you've been studying the human anatomy, and you've been laying hands on people for years, right?
Yeah.
That your intuition is obviously at a very high functioning level.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
thank you.
really lovely. That's very, very lovely. So what's your favorite thing about the Bach Flower Essence Remedies? And I know I'm using too many words to describe them.
No, that's okay. My favorite thing about them is that they empower people and give them the strength to act or to see their situation in a different light, so that it's no longer debilitating. They don't directly change the circumstances, but they change the way people perceive them. And they're natural, they're safe, they're not addictive, they can't overcorrect, you can't take too much, you don't build up a tolerance to them.
Wow.
They work as long as you get the right remedy and you take them. They're just amazing.
And you only have to take them 4 times a day.
Yeah, sometimes if you take it a little more often, it might speed up the process.
Yeah, I did that with the first bottle you gave me. I was taking it multiple times a day because I just loved the way it made me feel.
And there's nothing wrong with that. That's great. You
That's
can do
what
that.
I did. I had to go back and get another bottle.
Yeah, I remember that was 2.5 or 3 weeks. Something like that.
And it's usually a month, right?
Yeah.
About 30 days. Yeah. So I was taking it all the time. And I what I think is interesting, and of course you know so much about the remedies, but it's almost they work so subtly in a way. And I think what I wanted to say, but I didn't want to interrupt you, is that perception is everything. So when you change your perception about something, that's really how you get things to change. That's really what holistic medicine is about. It's what energy work is about.
Exactly.
It's what about massage, cranial sacral work, the structural what's the term for that again?
Structural integration.
Integration, yeah.
Yeah.
All of that is really about getting you to change your perception.
Yeah,
Because if you change your perception, then you get curious. You start to change your belief system.
exactly.
And then everything changes. But
And awareness, yeah.
consciousness,
Yeah.
everything shifts.
Yeah.
But first you have to change your perception. You can't keep focusing on things whether you're conscious of it or not, in the same way you have historically, and expect a different outcome.
Right.
So I liked the way how the flower essences made me feel. I felt different. I can't even totally, I know you're going to, when I go get my new remedy tomorrow, you're going to interview me and you're going to get more information, but I can't always tell, I probably won't be able to put it all into words on my own about how I felt, because it's such a subtle,
Yeah.
at least from my perspective, but I can tell you energetically, I felt different, and I liked the way I felt energetically.
Yeah.
So that's why I took my drops.
Most people feel that.
Oh,
Even if
okay.
they're not really in tune. A lot of people are not really in tune with their feelings
Mhm.
or their bodies, for that
Mhm.
matter. But they very often will say that they just feel at peace
Yeah, right.
or balanced, just,
Mhm.
grounded.
Mm-hmm.
And they can't, it's hard to put a finger on it, but they just, it grounds them.
Yeah, it definitely is hard to put a finger on it. I think that's an interesting component. Do you think of that reason why some people, and maybe that's why not a lot of, because I haven't met that many Bach flower essence practitioners. I really haven't. I don't think there's a large percentage of individuals who actually specialize in that
No.
beautiful form of healing.
There aren't. There are 5 of us in Washington State who
Wow.
are certified for working at BFRPs, Bach Foundation Registered Practitioners,
Mm-hmm.
for people. And there are some more people who are practicing with the remedies, but they haven't had the same level of certification that we do.
Mm-hmm. Did you have to go to Europe to get that certification?
No, the company or the organization is based in, the Bach Center is
Oh.
based in London, actually in Oxfordshire,
Uh-huh.
a little town called Sotwell Brightwell cum Sotwell in Oxfordshire, about 20 minutes west of London. But they offer training here, and
Mhm.
I teach actually the first classes,
I know, yes.
the level 1.
I'm definitely going to be taking your classes for
Good.
sure. Yeah, my
You'd be
girlfriend.
wonderful to have in the class.
Oh, I can't
You'd
wait
be
to
so
take the class. My
inspiring.
friend Michelle and I are going to be taking it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So we
she's
want to
coming
take
tomorrow,
the
too.
human and the animal one, that nice,
Wonderful.
one that you have.
Yes.
Yeah. So how long have you been teaching?
So I've been teaching for a couple of years, about
Mhm.
maybe 3 years. I've
Mhm.
started out teaching the Bach basics, and then I started the teaching level 1, and now the level 1 pets. I'm trying to work with my mentor to get the level 2 teacher training done. So there's a whole process. It's
How many
not,
levels are there?
there are 3.
Okay.
And so level 1 is the introduction.
Mm-hmm.
Level 2 is sort of the advanced workshop to really kind of understand finer points between the different remedies and really to understand them more fully.
Mm-hmm.
Level 3 is primarily geared towards practitioners, people who want to become practitioners, and how to work with people, how to ask the right questions, how to draw them out.
Mm-hmm.
There is some coverage of the remedies, and clearly you have to demonstrate it
Mm-hmm.
quite a bit more. But the focus in the lecture portion is working with people. And,
That's a really important aspect of
yeah.
training others, I think, is how do you help an individual to ask the right questions
Right.
or work within the industry of that particular practitioners that are needed. I think some
Right.
people don't get that in their educational process.
True.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I find that really fascinating. So we could go to our callers and maybe kind of together answer a question for someone. Are you game?
Sure.
Okay. So, Benny, do you want to get one of our callers? Because we have people waiting. We always thank you so much for waiting when we interview people. It could be a 30-plus minute wait, so we appreciate that the phone lines fill up so quickly.
Sure. Let's bring out the
Okay.
numbers, too, if when we get the calls. It's 877-825-8828 is the number for the Marie Manuchehri Show. And we'll start things off with Karen calling in from Falls City. Hi, Karen.
Hi, Marie. Hi, Benny. I'm so excited to get through. I
Yeah,
tried to call last week and I couldn't get through.
oh, we're so sorry you couldn't get through. And today you get 2 practitioners answering your question. So we have Carl Anderson in the studio who lives here locally in Seattle, who's a advanced body worker and has perfected the art of the Bach Flower Essence Remedies. So what's your issue today? Because you sound fine. You're breathing fine when you're talking to me.
Well, yeah. So I've been having these respiratory issues, and it mostly happens at night.
I can't
It's
hear
almost
you.
like clockwork.
Could you say that again?
Can you
Yeah.
repeat that just one more time for us,
Yeah.
please?
It's a little
Yeah,
choppy.
yeah. Can
Thanks.
you hear me now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can hear you just fine.
Okay. Okay. So I've been having these issues,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
like wheezing and pressure on my chest,
Mm-hmm.
and it mostly comes on right about 9 p.m. at night,
Huh.
and then it lasts till about 9 in the morning. But like for the last especially month, I've had to use my inhaler almost every day, which I hate using. I don't want to use it, but it wakes me up at night if I don't use it, and I don't know what's going on. It's kind of been a problem happening on and off for the last 20 years.
20
So it's been
years.
really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's allergy related, but it's been really bad like the last 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I need to get my house checked or get allergy tested or what's happening from an energetic perspective, but it's really annoying. I really don't like it.
Well, I'm sorry that you've had so many respiratory issues for the last 2 decades. I mean, that's not fun. It's going to be fear-related, heart chakra fear, bronchial passageways, all of that. But I find it fascinating that you have a 12-hour episode, 9 to 9, like clockwork.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Do you have any questions, Carl, that you want
Yeah,
to ask?
normally we don't, with Bach, we don't normally treat physical conditions directly, but there can be, if there's an emotional issue that could be behind it, then the Bach, we work on that.
Right, of course.
And with breathing issues like that, I would automatically think of fear and anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you have consciously feel those, but
Are you feeling that, Karen? Are you feeling anxiety
or fear or terror?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say terror, but I did lose my job in September, and that's kind of when this got triggered again.
Uh-huh. So it came on with work, like being worried that you're not going to have a job, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Right. So, okay, now it's solved. Right. So what do you do besides do your inhaler? And I'm sure there are beautiful remedies. I mean,
Mimulus would be for typical
Ooh.
worries. You mentioned that it's not to the point of terror, so that would be rock rose. But Mimulus for fear that you can name.
And
like
what
that.
is
Mimulus is a flower.
Oh my gosh.
So
One of the things that happens when you go see Carl is he has pictures of the flowers.
Yeah.
And they're stunning. So after he makes your remedy, he shows you the pictures of them, and they're so because I'm a flower person. I love flowers. I always have something alive growing in my house all the time, or cut flowers. I cut flowers all the time and put them in my house in the spring and summer. So that would be a great remedy for you. Here's what I'm going to ask you to do.
Mimulus?
Yeah.
Mimulus.
Mimulus?
Mimulus.
Okay.
Okay. And then here's what I'm going to ask you to do, but you're not going to like what I'm going to ask you to do. And I'm so, so sorry, because we're in a phenomenal astrological place right now. We're in a full moon today, which is really remarkable. An amazing one in Gemini with planets going in all kinds of weird, interesting places. We have an eclipse on the 26th of December in Capricorn for Western astrologers. And then we have the Saturn-Pluto conjunction in January 12th, I believe it is. And today is the 12th. So we're in a major karmic potential release place. I want you to feel, this is what I do when I need to let go. Because letting go, I think, is one of the hardest things for old souls to do because we know too much, we've experienced too much, we have a really hard time letting go. But what if you lost your job and everything's okay? Because that's kind of, in my opinion, how you kind of eventually move through the fear is you accept the thing that you're most terrified of. And we're not saying that that's going to be, I'm not predicting that for you. And if for some weird reason you lost your job, I'm not saying you wouldn't find another job, but you almost have to be okay.
Yeah.
Carl, what were you going to say?
No, I agree because you will be okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I did lose my job. I mean, that is what happened. I was told
It's gone.
that I was not going to have my job anymore, and I was supposed to stay through December, and then I tried to find another job, and then my boss found out, and she freaked out that I was...
Right. So you haven't really lost your job.
Right. Well, I'm doing other stuff. I'm teaching kids yoga, and I'm doing kids life coaching, so I'm really focusing my energy on building that business, and I'm super inspired and on fire about it, but
so
I still can't breathe.
So, Carl, what I find is so interesting is that she lost her job but didn't lose her job, and she's still scared and can't let go. Even her boss doesn't want her to leave. So, yeah.
No. I did lose my job. No, I lost my job, and we had a huge falling out.
Oh.
He got angry when I started to look at a different place to work.
Oh,
and
interesting.
I can't believe you're gonna. Like, it was really ugly and bad.
So you don't have a job right now?
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, I'm so sorry. I misunderstood. Yeah, for some reason I'm not having a great time hearing you completely as well as I would like. Okay, so can you embrace being jobless?
Yeah,
You
I
can?
can. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a little scary, but I'm working through it.
Because is everything working out even though you don't have a job?
Kind of. I mean, it's tight. It's a little scary around the holidays, not having money.
Mhm. Mhm. But who really needs presents anyway? I mean, really. Everybody has way too much stuff.
I know.
Yeah.
That's good, though.
So I'm sorry you lost your job, but this is even better. I mean, things keep getting better and better, even though I keep kind of messing up how I'm reading you. But here's the deal. You lost your job and everything's okay. Can you just enjoy being jobless? Can you enjoy laying on the couch? Can you enjoy going for a long walk? And then take that beautiful...
Yeah, another thing that might help is walnut helps with change, periods of change. So those two things. I don't know what else you're feeling. How are you feeling?
It kind of wavers, I guess, day to day. Sometimes I get a little worried, and then some days I'm like, everything's going to be fine. I know it.
Do you get depressed?
And I get excited about like what I'm doing and what I'm working on, and I've got some good momentum, and I really feel like this was all meant to be. Like I was supposed to leave that, but it was.
I agree. I mean, your boss sounds like a terrible person anyway. So I agree you're supposed to leave, but if you can get calm and happy and content authentically, not in a fake way, but in a real way, and enjoy yourself authentically, then when you get the next job, it will be fun and interesting, and you'll have a better person who will treat you with respect. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So these
I do believe that.
Right.
Do you know what you want to do? Do you want to do the same sort of thing that you were doing in that job, or are you looking for something else?
Well, I really want to do my own thing. I work with kids. I do kids life coaching. I teach kids yoga. So I just want to bring more of that out into the world, and I love doing that. That's what lights me on fire. And the job that I had was out of school. It was part-time during the day, which works nicely with my schedule. So, I'm going to start subbing, and I have a plan. So
good, great.
Sounds like
So it sounds like these remedies would just be perfect right now,
Yeah,
just to take
get rid
the
of the
edge
fear
off.
and help you with the transition.
Right.
I recommend walnut and mimulus.
Great. Okay, great. I just love that. Okay, so and keep us posted. Let us know how this worked for you, and hopefully when you call back in next time, I'll be able to hear you better and not kind of get things all confused. So thank you, and we wish you a happy Christmas and fun not being employed. Like, enjoy it.
Yeah.
I know, I am.
Okay.
It is nice.
It's a rare opportunity to have time.
It's a rare opportunity. Yes.
So look at the bright side, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Karen, so much for calling in from Falls City. 877-825-8828 is the number for the show. First break of the hour. Let's do it.
Yeah, and thank you so much, Carl, for coming on to the show and helping me with a caller. I really appreciate it, and we wish you wonderful, wonderful, happy holidays. And how can people find you?
You can go to my website, www.carlanderson, CarlAnderson, BFRp, as in Bach Foundation Registered Practitioner.com.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you so
thank you.
much. Thank you,
you for having me on
everyone.
the
We'll
show.
take a break, and we'll be right back.
Well, I'm running down the road trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on my mind. 4 that want to own me, 2 that want to stone me, 1 says she's a friend of mine. Take it easy, take it easy.
Hi, this is Marie Manuchehri, and I'm excited to share upcoming online courses that I'll be offering in 2020. Receiving the Energy of Money, February 5th and 12th between 7 and 8:30 p.m. We teach this through Zoom. It's really fun. You just sign up to it. We send you all the stuff that you need, and you get the recording of the class. I teach the classes live and answer all your questions, which is super fun. We all know that when it comes to receiving the energy of money, that everything in the universe is, and I say universes because there's more than one, including money, is vibrating with subatomic particles, even though we are unable to physically see these energy particles. Thanks to the unique science of quantum physics, we know that they exist. So during this 2-part 90-minute course. You're going to learn how to create a healthy, loving, fun, expanded relationship with subatomic particles that turn into money so that you can have as much money as you want. It's one of my favorite classes to teach. We've taught it several times already online. So please join us for February 5th and 12th, 7 to 8:30 p.m. I hope you can join me.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma.
At age 30, Carissa finished her high school diploma.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, you can do it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Alternative Talk 1150. We're on your radio at 1150 a.m. We're on your HD radio at 98.9 Channel 3.
So many ways to listen.
We're on the web at 1150kknw.com, streaming live audio and video as well as MP3 archives of many of our shows.
So many ways to listen.
And now, we're on your smartphone or tablet. Download our free app in the Apple App Store or Google Play and take Alternative Talk 1150 anywhere you go.
So many ways to listen.
The Marie Manuchehri Show is streamed live over the internet. So if you have friends or family members living outside of the Seattle area, wanting answers to life's questions, encourage them to listen to the show and to call into the show to talk with Marie. If you are interested in receiving guidance on an issue in your life, call Marie locally at 425-373-5527 or toll free at 1-877-825-8828 for her insight into your situation.
There's a reason they invented the internet. It's called 1150kknw.com.
And good morning. We're still here in
Still here.
Seattle.
Still here.
We're taking calls here on the show. We took one with Carl Anderson, which was just lovely. Isn't he just a bright, intelligent, interesting man?
Sharp, brilliant,
Yeah.
had all the knowledge. We want him
Great
back.
guy.
We
Yeah,
need him
he's a
back.
great guy. So what calls are we taking right
Well,
now?
if you're just tuning in, this is the Marie Manuchehri Show, and if you'd like to join us, 877-825-8828 is the number. Let's travel over to Wisconsin, and we have Catherine joining us. Hi, Catherine.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, great, Catherine. How are you?
Good.
What can I do for you?
I'm just kind of looking for a general energy read. You read me a while back in May.
Over the radio or for a session?
For a session.
Oh, how did it go?
It went really well, and you really opened up a lot of doors that I'm trying to explore.
Oh, okay. So you're taking a little bit too much time, is what you're trying to tell me.
I think so.
You might, when I was listening to Carl and he was talking about perfectionists, I'm definitely not a perfectionist. I probably act too soon. I remember when I first started my business, I wanted an assistant right away. And my friends would go, "You don't need an assistant. What are you talking about?" And then I did need one after about 6 months, and I've had assistants ever since. But I'm always too soon, too ahead, pushing, so to speak. But you're waiting too long.
Right. And that's what I feel. Yeah.
So why are you waiting? And what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?
I'm not sure. If it's like procrastination, perfectionism combined.
Or fear of being amazing. A lot of people are terrified to be their incredible, magnificent selves. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's also a part of it. Definitely.
Okay. All right. So what is it that you want to do or you want to accomplish or you want to have change? Your energy looks great, by the way. You have a leak in your second chakra, but everything else is receiving light. It looks stunning.
Okay. I just want to do something that I connect with. I feel like right now I don't do things that I connect with. Like I do them to do them, but not because I enjoy them.
So why are you doing them and why can't you just stop? This is not that hard. You just don't do it. You just don't do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay.
And it's the fear.
Fear of what?
Failure.
Oh,
The
okay.
perfectionism.
Right. Okay, so I think fear of failure and fear of success are the very same thing. So are we talking about professional or personal or both?
Professional
Okay.
and person. I think both,
Okay.
because I think I've kind of put myself in a box, if that sounds right, and I'm just like I'm staying there. I'm not moving out of it.
Right. So why don't we start with you making some changes in your personal life? Only do things that are fun. I don't do things that aren't fun for me. I really don't. I mean, it's very, very rare. Like today I had to fold a whole bunch of laundry because the housekeepers are coming. But I don't really like to fold laundry. It's not my favorite thing, right? But I had to so they can vacuum under things and move the baskets or whatever needed to get done, right? So you need to make a rule that you are not going to do things unless they bring you joy. That needs to be your new rule. Can you do that? And I'm talking personally, because I think if you can start in your personal life, you're going to start to get comfortable with the feeling of joy, which I think you actually know what that feeling is like, but you just don't visit it frequently enough. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I think I'm way too good at bringing joy to other people and not really doing it for myself. Does that make sense?
Sure. So what is something you could do today that would be a joyful experience for you?
Well, go outside. It's supposed to snow here in a little while. So when
Really?
the snow starts,
Fun.
I'm going to go outside and just kind of be in the snow, walk.
Okay, so walk in the snow. And although I think that would be a fun thing, I really didn't feel your energy spike. So I think it's a nice thing for you, but it's not joyful. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that's where I guess I'm trying to figure out what makes me joyful instead of what I feel that I should be doing.
Right, what you think you should be doing, right?
Yeah.
How about making a snowman or having a snow fight with someone? That sounds like fun. And see what I mean? Your energy shifted. So doing something.
Started with some random person. Just,
yeah.
I mean, why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Okay. So
just be
Benny,
prepared for a
you
possible
are so
return.
good. Benny is great. Okay, so here's the deal. You need a bucket.
Just be prepared because it could go the wrong way.
Yeah, you need a
Just
bucket.
saying.
And I want you to start to keep the bucket outside and start collecting as soon as the snow starts to accumulate some snowballs. No, look at you're laughing your head off. This is why we're on the right track, right? And then once you have, 5 to 10 snowballs, and you must be good at making them. You live in Wisconsin, so I mean, like Seattle, we don't really know how to make too many snow things.
Whoa.
Well, okay, except for Benny. Benny knows how. And then I want you to throw them at random people. But I mean, I don't know.
Be prepared to run.
Okay,
Be prepared to run.
So,
stretch first.
Catherine, you're laughing your head off. This is what joy feels like. I love Benny's idea. Be prepared to run and stretch first.
just saying.
Well, he's got a point.
Don't want to pull a hammy.
Yeah.
That would hurt.
Right. Okay. You've got your homework assignment now. Now you know what we're talking about. And joy is a very personal thing. It's different for everyone. And so when you say you want to walk in the snow, all the Seattle people are going, "Oh, cool, that sounds like fun." But really, you live in Wisconsin. You have this opportunity for months throughout the year. We get it for weeks if we're lucky, or a day sometimes. We don't get snow very often here. So pay attention to yourself and what makes you happy, and notice when you start laughing your head off. That's an indicator that you've bumped into joy.
Okay.
Okay.
So how do I, when I feel like I'm doing something because I'm supposed to?
That's not joyful. Ding, 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 ding,
Where
ding,
do
ding,
I,
ding.
do I just cut that off?
Yeah.
Or is there a what if question I can ask?
Stop.
Okay.
The what if
stop.
question that I would recommend that you say is, what if I'm attracted to the joy? And what if I allow myself to be in it every single day? But yes, you have to literally remember the mind. I like to think of the mind like a dog. You have to tell yourself to leave it. Leave it. If you don't like it, leave it. Okay? Okay. Thanks for calling.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Catherine. And you were saying about, oh, no, go ahead.
No, I think that was really funny what you said. Be prepared to run and stretch.
Well, it also brought up, I was watching a show, they actually make snowball makers.
Oh, really?
It's just a little folding device, and it's I felt really really?
But now, if you live in Wisconsin.
I understand.
Yeah.
I get it. But I have a point just because, you could, make someone not very happy on their side after.
Right. But you know what I was thinking about if we had enough snow here? No, really. That one of the schools drops off 30 kids at the bottom of the hill in my neighborhood. That would be the perfect place to hide behind a tree. And as the teenagers are getting off the bus, that you just start slamming snowballs at them. That would be fun.
I actually got in trouble in
Really?
grade school for throwing a snowball at the side of the school. You know how like it's the end of the day and I'm like, I have this perfect one. I mean, I'm from Alaska, so it's like we had a chance to make a few in our day. So when the bell rings, they say you're supposed to drop everything, and and I was just like, I'm not letting this go, and someone else is gonna grab it. So I threw it at the wall. I didn't throw it at anybody, and sure enough, I got in trouble. They're like, you need to go to the principal's office. Well, I'm like, I threw it at the wall.
Oh.
So I had a little detention.
We're very sorry about that,
Me
Benny.
too.
But we're
That snowball, I sacrificed for that snowball.
But we're very happy that you actually did what made you joyful and
still had fun later.
Yeah, exactly. So who else do we have?
Yeah, sure. We'll take Valerie calling in from Portland, Oregon. Hi, Valerie.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hi, it's great. Thank you. What can I do for you, Valerie?
I have a question about career but mostly just kind of our household energy output balance.
What does that mean exactly?
That means that well, because I don't want to pretend like I know so I am currently part-time working, kind of like overseeing most of the household, and we have a family company.
Welcome to womanhood.
I even and I've been enjoying it so much.
Oh, this is
like
good. You just made my heart so happy right now to actually hear you say that you enjoy your woman. Well, they're really just domestic responsibilities, but I mean, we need to be honest, because I have 3 very strong, independent daughters, and they still tell me they do most of the work. So,
the way.
Right?
It is the way.
They're young, and married, and they still do most of the work. So, yes. Okay, go ahead.
It brings that Southern hospitality thing, because I'm actually from the South originally, so it's it brings that warmth.
Yeah.
But so the question is, balance financially, the joy of that being okay, and the joy of doing less being okay, and kind of trying to not strain my partnership.
Well, I mean, he could hire a housekeeper so that you can work full time, and a bunch of other people to do things like a gardener and a cook, and pay probably more than what you're going to make, maybe, a year. Or you could just ignore him, which is what I'm highly recommending.
That's what I've been trying to do my best.
Yeah, just ignore him. And why
don't walk for run?
Yeah, and why don't you go ahead and call a bunch of different places and find out how much it would cost to have these things done for you, and just give him that information on a piece of paper so that he can actually get clarity that if you are going to work full time and do everything else, this is how much you expect to be compensated. Otherwise, he's going to have to pitch in, which he doesn't want to. He does not want to. Yeah, he does fine. I'm not complaining about him. I like him. He's just stuck in this really weird kind of old, which a lot of men are, even young men. I'm so surprised. They're stuck in these really old paradigms about their responsibilities, which apparently don't involve housework and child rearing for some reason, only in small amounts when they want to, or if it's taking out the trash or mowing the yard, which are good things, but you only take out the trash once a week.
Yeah.
You mow the yard. Right now, our grass is kind of dormant. I don't know when I'm going to mow, not for a while. So, I mean, hello. How many times do you wash the dishes a day? 20 sometimes.
Right, multiple. Yes,
yeah,
a lot.
I mean, it just depends on how many times do you clean up the floor. Every time Charles takes
Need another house? I got one.
Every time Charles takes a drink of water, because he's a golden doodle, he's got like this beard that I'm constantly trimming, and he drips water all over the floor. So 20 times a day, I'm cleaning the floor, or chasing him with a rag trying to wipe his beard, right? So that's your homework assignment. And really, this is really about you owning who you are, because I think if you can energetically own that you are enough and you are contributing, and of course you're enjoying it, which is phenomenal. I'm so happy for you, the part-time aspect of it. I think that's lovely. You get to get out and have your own kind of, but you said it was a family business, right? So how far do you get?
I'm currently 20% of my time, of my income is kind of tied to HIT currently. And at some point it becomes the math of the monthly bills, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to, right now it's kind of at that level of, like you said, like who needs that many presents? Like I'm okay with that. Like
seriously,
our Christmas lights aren't up or good, and I'm fine with that. Like
you know what, our family,
easy. It's just
our family this year, my oldest daughter and I, we've done this for the last 2 years, but we decided not to buy each other any Christmas presents because we really don't need anything, except for we will buy stuff for the baby. I already got her stuff, of course, even though her mom said she doesn't need anything either. And we just decided to sponsor kids in some local shelters. So that's what we did instead. And the whole family instead of just my
donate your time.
Right.
It's another thing to do.
So we have it. Well, you don't need to. You're fine. You have too much going on. You don't need to donate anything right now. But we're just talking to our listeners who are listening, just all the different options. I think you need to change your energy so that your spouse goes, babe, thank you for everything you do. This is amazing. And thank you for the smile on your face too while you do it. I'm so happy I'm with you and everything will work out great. Because that's what you need to hear and nothing more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yes.
All right.
Do you see any financial stability headed our way?
I want you to feel empowered and that everything is fantastic because that's what's going to create the financial stability.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Okay. All right. Thanks for calling in.
Okay.
All righty.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
You can do it, Valerie. You got to start there first.
Got to
Start
with
the ground
changing
floor.
that perception.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then the they're already financially stable anyway, in my opinion.
Sure.
I can see that they have a lot of really great things going for them. They just worry. And worry actually leaks the money out of your bank accounts. Literally leaks it out.
No more worrying.
No more worrying. Okay.
877-825-8828 for the Marie Manuchehri Show. We'll take another Catherine. This time she is calling from Federal Way. Different Catherine, but... Hi, Catherine.
Hi.
Hi, Catherine. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm lovely. Thank you. What can I do for you?
I enjoyed listening to your show. I just have to say,
thank you.
You're so bubbly, and your energy, I think, just kind of spills over bubbles out of a glass. Just full of joy.
Thank you.
So,
well, this is one of my favorite things to do in the world. And I also have a job that I absolutely love. So I think everyone would feel this way if they did things that they enjoyed, if they knew what that was or they practice it. But thank you very much. What can I do for you?
Yeah, thank you for taking my call.
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling kind of in relation to, I called you a couple of weeks ago because I'm not feeling good health-wise, and I was concerned about a heart issue. And I finally ended up going into emergency last night because I'm feeling really lightheaded and nauseated, and I can feel my heartbeats at times.
But you're fine, right? There's nothing wrong with you, correct?
They did an EKG, they did blood work, and they even did a brain scan to see if there was any kind of
And you're
swelling.
Fine.
I don't know what's going on. I'm I'm busy.
Are you home? Okay, so let's just stop for a second because I said you're fine, and you're not in the hospital, right?
No, I'm at home.
Yeah. So did they find anything wrong with your EKG, your brain scan, and your blood work?
No.
Okay. So I'm just making sure so that our callers our listeners understand why I said that to you. Right. So everything's fine. You are going through something, but I think this is emotional and energetic. And things are weird right now, astrologically speaking. Where is Taurus in your astrological chart? Do you know?
I do not know.
Okay.
I do have a birth chart, though.
Ah, okay.
So I can go find out when we're done.
Because Uranus is a really interesting planet. It's very strong. It's a large outer planet. When it makes a transit in a sign, like right now it's in Taurus, it really affects individuals who may have a strong Taurus aspect in their astrological chart. And it feels really weird. It feels shaky. You can feel palpitations. You can feel anxiety. You can have lack of sleep. Does any of this sound familiar?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, I mean, feeling the heartbeat and
right.
I'm off kilter. Even my vision seems off.
Yeah.
Everything's off, and I don't understand what's going on.
Well, first of all, I know, right? Because you've probably never had Uranus in an important part of your chart. So that's why I want you to go look at your astrological chart. But here's the beautiful thing. You went to the doctor. Everything's fine. Just sit with it. Just be with it. Tell yourself everything's okay. Something's changing within you, and Uranus is such a powerful planet. It kind of shakes you. It's like a minor earthquake, if you will, inside your body, creating some energetic instability so that you will let go of your limited perceptions and create something new in your life. That's what's happening. Nothing wrong. It's fine. It's okay. Just embrace it. Have fun. Meditate more. Be loving and kind to yourself. And remind yourself, all my tests were normal. Just because people feel weird sometimes, it doesn't mean that they have a disease.
Okay, even though it's been going on feels like for a couple months.
Yes, Uranus just moved into Taurus this year, and it will stay here for 7 years.
What?
Mm-hmm. It's a 7-year transit.
Okay.
Okay?
So I need to look on the chart.
Yeah, find out where Taurus is in your chart, or find out where Uranus is. Just, figure those two things out and read what that means when you find out what house it's in or what property of the astrological chart. Okay?
Okay.
And relax.
I'm trying to. I'm just like.
But you did everything. You're fine. Stop.
Okay.
Okay. And I already told you were fine when you called in last time, right?
You did, and but it seemed like it's just escalating. It's like, what is going on?
Uranus is really intense right now. Go meditate. Take a bubble bath. Talk to God.
For 7 years, right?
Yeah, basically. But no, it won't have to be for 7 years. Things can change very rapidly. We can have a significant shift in a short period of time and be a different person. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for calling in. I'm glad you're well.
Yeah, thanks, Catherine. Because you got to stock up on Mr. Bubble.
Yeah.
It's going to be a large Costco bill.
It is, right, for those bubble baths.
Right.
But how many people want to...
It's true, though.
A diagnosis and treatment for bubble bath. I mean, that just sounds like fun, right?
I like them.
Yeah.
I'm not shying away from them.
No. Okay, who do we have next?
Too much information. Okay, Allison from Berkeley, California. Welcome to the show. Hi,
Allison.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I am lovely. It's so pretty where you live.
It really is,
It
yeah.
really is. Yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah.
So what can I do for you?
So I am calling about my daughter.
Okay. And how old is she?
She's 13.
Okay, cute age.
Yeah, some days.
Yes.
So she has a thing about her hair.
Uh-huh.
Really emotionally attached. Like, she hasn't had it cut for 10 years.
Yeah.
We can't touch it. She's worn it in a ponytail
Great.
for 5 years. Like, we can't see her without her hair in a ponytail.
So?
I
don't really know what the problem is. I'm just trying to get to what the problem is here. Yeah. People are weird. People are weird.
Okay.
You have a weird kid.
Anytime I get a haircut, she cries.
She cries?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's like the whole thing I'm trying to understand. And like, if anybody mentions her hair or, talks too much about hair, like,
okay.
It's calmed down a little bit, but she used to just fly into this emotional, like, crying, hysterical.
Wow. Even hysterical that you're getting your hair cut.
Yeah.
Okay. So, did you talk to her about it?
I've tried talking to her for years, and it's also like shut down or screaming or something.
Well, here's what I saw when you first started to talk about this. This is why I was like, leave your kid alone, because you guys did really bother her about getting her hair cut. You know what I mean? Like, you can disagree with me, right? You can disagree with anything I say, but is that true?
Yeah.
Like, you guys, for a while, were kind of like, well, no, you're getting your hair cut or something of that nature.
We asked her to take her ponytail out a few years ago because she's been wearing it every day, and we go to, somewhere we had to dress up, and we'd be like, "Can you just take your ponytail out?"
Right.
So for the last couple of years, we've just sort of let it go.
Right. Which is good.
I don't know. It just popped up to me again recently,
Right.
and I was like, you know what?
You have a really weird kid, and I say that with like so much joy and happiness, but you have a weird kid, and you also have a kid who's kind of what I would call a late bloomer.
Okay.
So she's not as mature, even though she's super smart and interesting and unique. All these things I love about her, but she's not as mature as a 13-year-old. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And is that true? Do you agree with me?
Yeah, definitely a late bloomer, and like kind of just sort of contracted a lot.
Yeah,
afraid to like express herself.
Right. I bet these Bach flower essences would be amazing for her. Something very simple that doesn't really freak her out. It's in water. They're tasteless, in my opinion. That might be really helpful to maybe reach out to Carl and get some Bach Flower Remedies for her. But she is a late bloomer. So even though she's 13, she actually feels more like 7. and highly sensitive.
That's interesting. We moved across the country when she was 7, and that's when I really noticed she sort of
Interesting.
changed, like stunted in a way.
Wow. And I wouldn't call her stunted. I mean, yes, we don't want her to lose her cookies over her hair or your hair. You know, we want her to be able to be okay when someone gets a haircut, right? But there's an aspect of her which is really immature, which I also love. Late bloomers typically don't figure out things for a long time. Like, they're slow. But the beautiful thing about late bloomers is that when they like make career choices, you know, when they're adults or they get married or anything of that nature, they choose really well because they've taken so much time looking at everybody else's choices, and they've formulated some really cool opinions that are authentic about what would be good for them. So to be a late bloomer is actually a very positive thing. Although parents don't necessarily feel that way, especially as their kids get older. They're like, wait a minute, what do you mean you're not going to go to college or whatever? I'm not saying that's going to happen to you. I don't know. But, you know, they just take some time. But I think the Bach flower essences would be a great thing for your daughter. So she can get over whatever this one little thing is that's, you know, making things a little difficult for everyone.
Do you have any in particular? Because I've tried to use a couple.
Well, we interviewed Carl Anderson the first half hour of the show, and he will do phone call sessions with people and make remedies for them. He's an expert. He's excellent. So you can go to our website. We have his information listed, or you can just Google Carl Anderson and .com. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And we have to go.
Thanks,
Benny's
Allison.
playing the music. That means I'm late. We need to go. Thank you, everyone, for listening to the show. Happy full moon. And thank you, George, for reminding me of the full moon. I truly appreciate that. Joyful blessings, everyone. Bye-bye for now.
The views expressed on this program